Hello, this is October Class in a Box and I am Danny. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from the UK, and this month is all about making your own envelopes to match your cards. So these measurements have all come from Sarah Douglas, who is the Stampin' Up! CEO, and she does a regular Tuesday Facebook and Instagram live, and I follow her as many other Stampin' Up! Demonstrators do, and so I thought this would be great to do as a class. You're making 3 envelopes to match your 3 cards, and this first one I've made into an arrow fold card, which is not as complicated as it looks, and you've got the envelope to match. They're 3 different sizes, so this one is a square one. Now if you're going to post these envelopes, obviously you haven't got anything to write on, but I've included a nice little die cut, so you can either put it on that side or this side and stick it on, and you can put your address on. And the cards are just using the inside sort of scraps of paper that you have left over to make it look pretty, and I think they're really cute. And so let's get started with the first one. So we'll do the envelope for this one in a minute. So you're going to make the arrow fold card. Now in your box you have got the equivalent of a sheet of designer series paper, and I've had to cut it in half in order to get it in the box, but they all come from the Sweet Symmetry papers, the designer series paper. Now you get, in every designer series paper pack, you get 12 sheets and 6 designs. They're all double-sided, 2 of each design, and I just thought these were lovely to have the inside show as well as the outside. And it didn't really grab me at first, these papers, or let me show you the stamp set. This goes with it. But when she did it, this Sarah Douglas, who's the CEO, I thought it was amazing, and it just looked really lovely, and I love these sentiments. So obviously if you haven't bought this, you can use whatever you have got in your little craft stash. So let us start with the card. You've got a coordinating colour card, depending on what paper you have. Obviously there are different papers, so you're going to get a coordinating paper. Everybody's probably going to be different. So you then need to get a ruler and a pencil, and this is in centimetres. So you're going to mark off the middle, just score a little line with your pencil at 5.25, and then 7 centimetres up from the base you rotate your card round 7 centimetres, and again on the other side 7 centimetres. So these are your marks, and it's a bit difficult to see. You then get your trimmer and take the cutting edge right out of the way. You then score up your little pencil mark here to the base in your scoring area and cutting area. So get that lined up in the middle, get your scorer and score. Same on the other side. And then score. And then the next bit is the top, and then down to the middle again. Now it's difficult to try and position it, because sometimes at the bottom, at the base here, it can get a little bit crumpled, but just do it slowly. and gently. So you can see you've got this sort of pattern. You then get your bone folder and you're going to burnish that in a sort of a mountain valley fold. So mountain valley being the mountain is up, the valley being down. This is your valley and that is your mountain. So mountain, the first score mark is there, and then that one is there. Now you just need to pay particular attention to this base because it can sometimes be a little bit tricky. So you need a nice crisp line there, and then just be careful with this last one. There we go. I think that should be fine. Get this bit, prepare this bit well, it will work well. So that's what you're going to end up with in the end, like that. Just need to get my instructions, which is just behind me. Forgot to prepare it earlier. So then you take your DSP. So you've got your DSP here, and you are going to cut 13.5 by 10.10, 13.5. Sorry, 14.4 by 10. You want to cut two of those. Now your directional, if you've got a pattern, you need to have it this way, vertical. So 14.4. Keep these scraps because we're going to need those, and then 10 comes in handy, especially for the next cards. So you're going to then find out what you would like as your middle part. I would like that there, and I'd like that one, that triangular bit with this pattern. So you again, you know that that is 10, so I'm going to make a little mark at 5. Get that out of the way. So 5, and then I'm going to cut that down. It's quite hard to see, but that is my pencil mark, and that's my corner that I'm going to cut. You might need to cut this down slightly again, but let's see how we go. Because I would like yeah, that's fine. I'd like a little bit of blue around the edges. Now you've then got these two pieces, and I would like these to be on this side. So if you can imagine, that is the offcut. So I'm just going to cut that from here. So you have to imagine that those would be there. So I would make a little mark again. I want a little bit of an edge, a blue edge. I'm going to mark it there, and it's going to come from here. And again, this side, mark it slightly under. So then I'm going to cut it get rid of that bit and try and find my mark. There's my pencil mark to that corner. Get this out of the way. So ready now to glue it all down. So that will go this side and that will go this side. Okay, and that is going to go there, and then this bit is going to go inside like that. So I am ready to glue it all down. Hopefully I've got enough glue. Right. And just make sure you've got, if it is a pattern that you've got, make sure it's going the right way up. So then this bit go in the middle. Thing is, once you've practiced this a bit, you'll just love it, and I think it is just a very different card to make. I've got a bit of glue there, but it doesn't matter because that's going to be stuck down. So then this side and this side, last bits. Hope you can see, and I'm in shot. So there we go. Now then, this bit is going to tuck under, and that is going to be glued like that in there. This bit, this flap, and that bit. So all of that inside here, this panel, is going to be stuck down. So you can put glue on all of it, whereas the other panel is slightly different. So tuck that in, glue it down, burnish it nicely so it folds nicely, and then whoever you're giving it to, when they open it, it will stand nicely as well. So then with these two flaps, you're just, don't put glue all around there, just put glue in this bit. So don't forget, it comes down like that. So I've made this mistake before, and then unfortunately just a bit too heavy-handed with the glue today. And then this one goes down as well. And that's it. That is your arrow fold. And then you just need a little stamp in the middle. You can do whatever sentiment you want, and I quite like the best day ever in the Sweet Symmetry. So I've made it as a little banner, and what I'm going to do is when I make it a little banner, I just look at the writing, have cut off exactly the same amount on either side of the writing, and then cut up the middle, and then from the corner to the middle and cut, same the other side, cut up the middle. When you cut up the middle, try and make it the same size as the opposite, so you get equal amount on both sides, and then that can go in the middle there. So again, you're only going to put glue in the middle section here, not all across. So that will go on there. Now with the middle, you don't really want to you want that card to not have writing right across it when you write your card. So I would do a little back panel, and the back panel is will be 10 by 14.5, so that's in white, and you've been given spare white stock for that. I'm not going to do it now because you know how to do that. So then we want to do our envelope. So now you're going to take your DSP, that is 15.2 at the top and 30.5 centimetres at the side, and then you're going to score it on each, with the short side at the top, scoring it at each side at 1.9, and then the same on this side. And then you're scoring it at 4.7 with the pattern this way. Unfortunately, with this envelope, I've realised you're going to get the pattern at upside down at some point, but I'm just going to have to go with it. So 4.7, and then at the top bit, turn it round, that's on my trimmer, it's at 10.8, 10.8, and I'm scoring it there. So I'll show you in a minute what I mean. So this is your top, which will be in the right direction, but when you turn it round, your flowers are going this way. So I will try not to give you a directional pattern on this envelope because it doesn't make sense. But I think we're just going to have to go with this one, and probably nobody is going to notice whoever I give it to. And I'm going to burnish all of these score lines, and then so it's going to be like this in the end. So what I'm going to do, you've got 3 rectangles here, so I'm going to make 2 tabs on this side. I want to chop away this and chop away these rectangles. So cut right up this rectangle, notch into this bit, same with this side. Now the sun's coming out now, not a great time to record, but never mind, we must enjoy the sun, mustn't we? And the same on this side. Get these bits out of the way. So what you're going to end up with is something like this. This is going to go into the middle, that is going to come up the top, and that is going to come down like that. So I have rounded the corners on here. So this is the Detailed Trio Punch corner rounder, and you might have something else, or you might just want to taper it in if you haven't got anything. So then you can see that these flaps only come up halfway, not halfway, but 2/3 of the way. So when you try to glue it together, I would put the glue on this side only, because then you know that you're not going to put too much glue on. So put these sides in, bring that up, and then glue it down. So then that goes over. Now we've got little scraps here, and what I've done is, because I've used these little round and square beads, brads rather, as you can see, the one I've done before, just get a little white brad, 2 white brads from there, and then from here you can see I just want to cut. I've just got this little 1-inch rounded punch, and you can put 3 little squares in. You can cut them by hand, or if you've got one of these, you can use that. And I'm just going to line that up in like that, glue that on. Whoops. Just to strengthen it a little bit, strengthen the paper, make it look pretty, get it central. I'm not measuring it, I'm just doing it just by eye. And then get your little paper piercer, put a little hole in the middle to get the brad working. Same with the other side. And that will go in there. It's a bit tricky to see, but so then that looks a bit unsightly, I think, so that I put another little one on there, little circle that I've punched out, and then it doesn't look too unsightly if I push that down. Just needs a few seconds. There we go. So then get a piece of white or blue. I'm going to get blue actually. Whatever I've given you, the little cord bit. So it's about 60 centimetres I've given you. And then take your little twine, have a little end so that you can put a little bow on and wrap it around a few times. I think it's quite nice, this little envelope. I love the way it's finished like this. Wrap it around as many times as you like, and then you can do a little bow or a knot, whatever. Probably a bow is better. And then excess you can trim, and that is your envelope. So I'm going to try and find my card, and that should go in there perfectly. So that is the first one done, and put that to one side. So the second one is a square card. Now put that there. Now the square I have given you is, let's get the bits and pieces. So again, you've got 2 pieces of DSP, that's for your envelope, and this is your coloured card, coordinating colour card. You'll then, the card is 11 by 22, so 22 centimetres. You cut that up, and by 11. You can probably make another card out of this, and then you score it at 11 centimetres. So that's your card, which you've then got these little bits to go on it. So I have used for the pattern Bumblebee and Just Jade. So on this little card, I'm going to get this little flower and this one and a couple of leaves. These little leaves, they're quite cute. And we've got Hey Friend. Hey Friend. Somewhere. Hey Friend. Right, so let's get a block. Just going to practice. That's fine. And then pop that at the top. You can see how solid that flower is. And then with my little stalk, let's practice again. And a couple of leaves. I think I've got all that on. Sorry if my head's in the camera. And again. Now, I don't know where the oh, there's the Hey Friend. Hey Friend, I was going to do in a navy blue. There it is. as you can see with that, it's got a little bit of twine around it. So white twine, I'm going to put it to one side. So it's going to have a little bit of twine there, enough to do a bow. Wrap it round and do your knot and then your bow, and that's, once you've done your bow, it's going to go to one side. So I'm going to put that to that side. You can put another double knot if you feel it's not going to stay. I'm going to take the excess off, and then that is going to go on with some dimensionals. Just to prop it up and give it some dimension. And sort of 3D effect, which is quite nice rather than just flat on the page. So that is going to go onto there. And then that, I'm going to put this onto there once I need a bit of scrap DSP, and I don't get the scrap DSP until I use my DSP to make my envelope. So we'll finish that card in a second. So the DSP for this envelope, 6.3 centimeters, has to be chopped off at the bottom. So you're going to chop that. That is going to be the bit for your card, but we might as well carry on with this. So again, it's 15.2 at the top, and then you have got your 5.1 centimeters that you score at the top, 7.6 centimeters you're scoring at the bottom. That's it. And then at the side you've got your 1.9 centimeters you're scoring. Pop that away. So let's finish off our card with our scrap bit of paper. Now that I'm just going to cut that to size. So I know that that is 11 centimeters across there. So just going to cut that at 11. I'm going to glue that on. Pop that in the middle. And then layer up my card now. I know that that is ready and in position. Popping that in the middle. And then that is going to go on the side there. Now I know that that is raised up on dimensionals, so I'm just going to glue that little bit and then put a little dimensional on this bit. Otherwise it's going to be skew-if. So just a little bit on the edge here. That's probably too much now. Never mind, let's have a go. There we go. And then inside, your little insert will be 10.5 by 10.5, but you've got white card for that. So then finish off our little envelope, burnish the sides. The big bit is going to be the top bit, and again we're going to, with these rectangles, we're going to, there's 3 rectangles on either side, take these 2 rectangles off and this 2 rectangles off, notch in to this one, because these 2 sides are creating your little tab. So the envelopes are basically similar cutting, but it's just different sizes because you take a bit off the bottom. So the next one is going to be just slightly smaller than this one, so you're taking a bit more off the bottom. Now that is slightly skew with. Straighten it a bit. So again, that is the bit that I'm going to be gluing, so I'm just going to glue on the corners here. Use my corner rounder again, just for these sides, and that is going to go that way. Now, as you can see, the pattern is that way, but it's the wrong way that way, but it's sweet symmetry, so it could be either way. So that's your next card. So then we have the last card, which I've chosen this pattern. Thankfully, this pattern is a non-directional pattern. So, and then again, this is half an A4. Let's start with the envelope because we need the scrap of envelope to go onto the card. So these bits you have to take off again. On the third one you have to chop it at 11.4. So 11.4, you can see this card, you've got all this scrap, so that's what we're going to use for our card. You can then, it's 5.1 scoring on both sides, with the long side at the top. The long side at the top, 5.1 and 5.1, and then with a short side at the top, again it's 1.9 centimeters. 1.9. So burnish all of this again. So with this card you have got equal measurements at the top and bottom, so you could have either. So again, you cut these rectangles at all 4 corners off, and notch into this middle one. Now with these last two envelopes you haven't got the brads, because you can just use double-sided tape to stick it down, or you can use whatever you've got really. You could put, if you were hand delivering it, you could put a nice little ribbon around it and have a closure that way, because it's nice and pretty and different. You could have twine if you were hand delivering it. All sorts of things you can do, but our tear and tape works really quite well. With that little thin strip there, and that will cover your little bit there, so you can just have it stuck down with tear and tape. So that's my little envelope. So then the card, your cardstock needs to be 22 so 22 centimeters by now what have I done here, 8.5 I think. Let's have a look, see what that is. Yeah, 8.5. So 8.5, 16 should be 17 centimeters. Score it at 8.5. There we go. These will be written down for you. So you've then got your little bit of scrap that you can use. So I'm just going to just cut a bit off, so 5 centimeters, and I know it's 8.5 that way. No, it's not. 10.5. Let's measure that first. Sorry, 10.5. And then just cutting a strip, so it's 5 centimeters. That should be right, yes. So then I'm going to use my twine and I'm going to make a little bow again to one side. Get the excess here, go around. Make a little bow, maybe tighter than you need to. Stretch it out. And then that's going to go across here like that. And then I've got my little thanks so much that will go in there. Thanks so much. I'm doing that in navy blue. And then that will, I'm going to stick this on first. These are quite cute little thank you cards. I like having a little stash. You could have a little stash in your handbag. I know somebody who actually is a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and she keeps these little stash of thank you cards, and when she goes to a restaurant she will actually pay the bill with one of these little cards, and on the back is all her details of how to do, if they were interested in classes, if they're interested in the YouTube channel. I think it's a great way of advertising. It doesn't take long. And there we go. Now the other thing to finish off is you have got a few little in colour little of these enamel dots, which are really cute. So let's put some of these on that one. And this one, ooh, what shall I do? Green. And then the last one is this one. I want a yellow, I think a yellow bumblebee colour. Oops, let's come off. So there we go. So the insert for this will be 10 by 8, and then you've got little scraps. I just use the little scraps to put along the bottom. So there we go. These are your cards, and I think they are very cute. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you'll enjoy making them as well. Thank you very much for joining me, and happy stamping, crafters. If you like this video, please click the like button below, and please subscribe and select the bell icon to all to receive notifications of when I upload. Thank you.